How to deal with the 7 types of emotional vampires. Welcome to Getting Better Daily. Let's start off by saying that not all emotional vampires are bad people. Sometimes they don't even realize what they are doing. After watching this, you will realize that you have been an emotional vampire to someone. That's not to say they cannot be vindictive, mean, and cruel. But it's always important to know that they are also just humans. And humans are flawed and make mistakes, and that's okay. If you have an emotional vampire in your life, it is easy to recognize when you know what you are looking for. Despite your best efforts, some vampires are unavoidable. If you interact with someone who routinely makes you feel anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, intimidated, and depressed, you have a vampire. They are called this because they suck up the happiness inside you, like orange juice out of a carton, and then discard you when you are empty. It's important to understand that you'll never be enough for an energy vampire. They are trying to fill an endless pit inside themselves, and no matter how much they try and take from you, it's never enough because the thing they need to feel better comes from within. So here's a list of the types of vampires and how to protect yourself from each of them when they cross your path. Number 1, the narcissist. This is the most dangerous of vampires. This sort of people don't have empathy and they simply don't care about your feelings. When dealing with a narcissist, you have to understand that they are what they are, and that's an emotionally limited person. Lower the boundary of what you expect from them and know your worth. Emotionally distance yourself from them and focus on making sure your self-esteem and value comes from yourself and not from pleasing them. Once you focus on pleasing yourself, the narcissist's power over you will weaken. Number 2, the I am better than you. This is the person who is always trying to one-up on you. No matter what, they have done it bigger and better than you. This one is the most annoying to have around because the whole intention is to make you feel small. This vampire will leave you feeling insecure, small, exhausted, and anxious. You have to understand that with this vampire, it comes from a deep-rooted insecurity that they are not good enough. Encouraging and reassuring them doesn't work with this vampire because they have an almost false big ego. So you'll just be feeding that ego. They need to find validation from within. But for you, you need to make sure that you are reassuring yourself that you are good enough. They will do their best to make you feel worthless and insecure. If you do want them to feel better, give them genuine, real compliments about their self-worth, reminding them that they are important and they matter. Just make sure you are reminding yourself of that first. Number 3, the victim. We all know the victim, someone who is constantly talking about all the bad things that has happened to them. The person that when you offer an advice, have no interest in solving their problems. Eventually, they may grow to blame you for their problems, even though they are of their own doing. The key thing to note with this vampire is that you can't actually help them fix their problem. Let go of the idea you can actually help them because you can't, and it isn't your responsibility or your job. With the victim, protecting yourself is always about creating a healthy boundary. They will always try to keep you in conversations, but you have to kind of abruptly cut them off after a few minutes to avoid being sucked into their constant negativity. Number 4, the innocent. I always see this one as the second most dangerous vampire because you never see them coming. The innocent vampire is someone who is just a little helpless, and you just help them out now and then, but it spirals out of control. Soon they are dependent and expectant upon you to help them, and it drains you to a crisp. The innocent is a vampire that feeds on your compassion and empathy, and they can often not see the line because you haven't enforced it. Yet, you let them cross the line over and over again, and they had no idea they were asking too much, especially since you encouraged it by saying that it was no trouble. It doesn't make you a bad person to say no to helping people, especially people who have taken advantage of your hospitality. Defending against this type of vampire is drawing a line, a boundary, and enforcing it. This can be hard, but the reality is that they need to become self-sufficient, and you can encourage all that while drawing a thick line. Number 5, the controller. This is the vampire that wants you to do your things its way. It wants to control how you do things, what you say, what you do, and eventually who you are. They will comment with things that they think you should be doing and say it is in your best interest. You might have met this one before. They'll try to make subtle suggestions and encourage ways they want you to be and leave you feeling fake. They will also invalidate all your feelings when they aren't suited to them. When dealing with a controller, this is where assertiveness comes in. You can be assertive and kind at the same time. Just thank the person for their advice, but say you are going to do things this way because it feels more authentic. Don't be afraid to stand up to a controller and say, thank you, but no. They have no right to tell you how to live your life. Number 6, the chatterbox. At some point in your life, you have to come across the chatterbox. This person who just constantly talk about themselves, their life, their problems, and drama around them. And if you try to talk about yourself, the conversation swiftly comes back to them. The chatterbox, in essence, isn't interested in you or your feelings. You are just an audience to record and dictate their life so they feel heard, validated, and important. Unfortunately, that can leave you feeling like your relationship is one-sided, drained, unimportant, and ignored. The best way to protect yourself from the chatterbox is direct communication. They do not respond to soft clue like attempts to change the conversation. You have to talk them directly but politely to change the topic of conversation to something more positive. Number 7, the judge. The judge is a vampire that constantly judges other people, and no one is free from their scrutiny. They will judge everyone and they will leave you wondering what they say about you behind your back. The judger is one of the most toxic people to have around because when they judge, they have nothing positive to say. They will leave you feeling insecure, pathetic, and even small with the judgment. This is all on you. Just because someone is critical towards you doesn't mean you have to care. The judge is critical for the sake of being critical. There's nothing constructive about it, so you can choose not to value what they have to say. They just try to chip away at your self-worth because they are struggling with lack of that themselves. But we know that true self-worth comes from within. Refuse to take what the judge says personally and don't get defensive with their comments. Keep a cool head because if they know you feel hurt by what they have said, they win. Remember, you can't control their behavior. You need to understand that you aren't responsible for their actions, only your own. If possible, walk away, cut out or distance yourself from emotional vampires. You can't change them, you can only protect yourself. If you have watched this and one of these vampires reminds you of somebody in your life, I cannot emphasize enough how much you should walk away from them. I know it can be hard and you often feel obligated to this person, but walking away is the best thing for both of you. You do not need this negative energy in your life. Put yourself and your mental health first and do what you need to do to maintain your happiness and positivity. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment and tell us what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more awesome videos like this. Turn on the post notification to get notified anytime we drop a new video. Keep getting better and have a nice day.